everyone, welcome to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Yana. I'm European born, living in Australia, currently in state Queensland, and I work as a registered nurse for QLD Health. In today's video, I'm going to be highlighting a nursing topic. I do speak a lot about nursing on my channel and also about styling and fashion. So I started my channel as a nursing student, and it kind of like rolled from there, and now I share up until today all my experience and knowledge in nursing field. So in today's video we will be talking about nursing, as you understood, and the topic that I want to discuss is about shift work and also workload in nursing field. I've got a lot of questions on my Instagram because I do share my small reels and pieces of my life, things like that on Instagram. A lot of people know that I'm a nurse, so they ask me about my work and how often I work, how many days a week and times and all of that. And it seems to me that a lot of people get surprised that we nurses were not Monday to Friday workers, and we work on public holidays, we work on weekends, and yes, we do nights. Like, a lot of people find it weird, to know that we do nights. They ask me like, when do you sleep? Like, it's probably damaging your lifestyle. So from there, I thought I will film a video for you guys explaining to you what it feels like and what it's like to be a shift worker, because I've been now a shift worker for more than 6 years, from 2018. So yeah, that would be like 6 years, more than 6 years. And I started as AN, then I progressed to EN, and now I am working as RN. And all this time I've been doing a shift work, and it is very hard. So let me explain how it works. So if you are planning to work for QLD Health, it's going to be in most cases a shift work, especially if you will be working for medical, surgical, ED, palliative, rehab wards or departments. So those departments need to have shift work. And if you are working there on a contract as a grad and then post-grad as well, you have to do a shift work. This is one of the requirements. This is part of your contract. If you decide to work in research, if you want to work in outpatient clinics, things like that, then yes, you can do like day shifts Monday to Friday. If you in the future progress to management positions as well, if you want to only facilitate the students, you can do Monday to Friday too. But those are not positions that you will get in the beginning when you just graduate from the uni and you're still building up your experience, right? Getting into QLD Health is very hard, and one of the most popular ways to get there is through the grad program, okay? Or you can have a year of experience somewhere like in a community or aged care, because those are the ones who would take you without any experience. Have your year there and then apply directly to QLD Health as a qualified registered nurse who has, let's say, a year of experience. So if you're applying through the grad, okay, you will need to have your shift work schedule. And this is one of the requirements, as I said. So the only thing that will be unchanged will be your number of shifts. So usually grads, they have 0.7, which means 7 days out of fortnight you will be working, and that is not going to change. So every fortnight during the year contract of being a grad, you will have your 7 shifts, okay? What will be changing though is the time of your shifts, the days of the week that you will be rostered to, and you will be working on public holidays. Not every single public holiday, but it will be on and off. Also, you won't be able to choose which days you want to work. You only can choose 4 days out of the months that you don't want or can't work. Let's say you have a birthday, you have an appointment that you know about in advance, it's your children's birthdays or any other important events in your life. So when your NUM will be doing your roster, they usually send a request roster, and it stays for about 5 days on a ward or by email if you are not scheduled to work on that day, during those 5 days. And you can cross out in that request roster 4 days out of the months that you don't want to be rostered on. Okay, you can, with the red pen as well, request if you want to do more mornings or more evenings, or maybe you want to do particular days, but not always NUM will be able to give you those days that you want to work, included in your roster. Because what NUMs will do, they try to allocate everyone and do a fair skill mix. They want to make sure that they have enough of clinical nurses on a shift each and every day. They want to make sure that if they have grads on a shift, they need to have a particular number of experienced nurses as well on a shift, so that the safety is maintained throughout the day. And the NUMs just need to be fair to everyone. Like, you can't request only to have weekends, because weekends are the greatest penalty rate payment. You can't request only to work evenings because you're not a morning person. You can request maybe like here and there a couple of days and just hope that the NUM will be able to allocate you those. But what he will look at for sure is your 4 days that you are crossing out. This is by law, something that Queensland Health has established for us nurses. We can cross out 4 days every single month, and those ones they can't say no to. It doesn't matter what skill mix they have on that day, how short they are, they can't refuse you those 4 days. Okay, so going back to the roster, you will have every month different days. So if you were, let's say, first week of the last month working Monday to Wednesday, and then the next week, the second one, you were working, let's say, Thursday to Saturday. This month, your first week, you might be working Tuesday, Wednesday, and then having a couple of days off, coming back on Sunday, and then so that would be your first 3 days. And then next week, you might be working Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And they will be different. They might be a mix of mornings and evenings and nights. What they won't do to you, which is against the law, they won't make you to do late early, which means if you are having today a late shift, PM shift, which starts from 2:30 and finishes at 11, they won't schedule you to work morning the next day, because by law you need to sleep at least 10 hours. I think before it was 8, now it's 10 hours. So they can't schedule you to do it. But if they are really short staff and you want to pick up an additional shift and do late early by yourself, there is a penalty rate that Queensland Health can pay you. It's like $300 something for this, like, sleep deprive, whatever they call it, that you're not sleeping enough. They can pay you this additional kind of like a penalty for coming up next day early, but it has to be approved by your NUM. Okay, because if everyone would be doing that, like, in purpose to get that extra money plus to your already shift pay, that would be too good, and everyone would be doing it. So it has to be approved by the NUM. So you will have these different days, every fortnight, and you might start your week with mornings and then have, let's say, 2 days off, and then come back on evenings, and then finish the block with the nights. So with the nights, you have 4 nights a month by your contract to do. Some people like to do all 4 in one go, have them all one after another, which is really, really hard, and then have, like, let's say 3 days off. By law, you need to have at least 2 days off after the night shifts. When you have at least like 2 nights in a row, you need to have 2 days off. 1 day is not enough. It has to be 2 days. So some people like to knock it off all together, 4 shifts. Some people like to do 2 by 2, and this is this is the culture in my ward. This is how our NAM schedules us. He does 2 by 2, so you will have in the first fortnight you will have your 2 nights scheduled, and then the second fortnight you will have another 2 nights scheduled for you, and usually there is a week at least or 2 weeks break in between. Some people like to do 1 night shift per week, because for some doing 2 nights in a row is hard, and I can tell you it is very hard, because after the first night you feel okay-ish. You can sleep, you know, a couple of hours, you know, and squeeze in through the rest of the day normally and go back again. But after 2 night shifts, you feel like a zombie, and you need at least a couple of days to get back to normal life. And it just like, it damages your sleeping routine, it damages your body clock. It's really hard. So it's up to you. I mean, like, if you want to do 1 night per week, you can speak to your NAM and he will be gladly changing that for you. No problems at all. We have on a ward where I work people who do all 4 at once. We have people who do 2 by 2, and we have people who do 1 by 1. So the difficulty that I feel people facing once they already starting to work is that there are so many changes in time. Your body never adjusts to the same routine, because in 1 week you can have mornings, afternoon and nights. So can you imagine, like, today you, in the beginning of the week, you are waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning, you know, to go to a morning shift, right? And you might have like 2 mornings, and then after 2 days you are starting your afternoon. So you're no longer waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning, you're going to work to start at 2:30, and you're coming back at 12. Like, I finish at 11 o'clock. By the time I get out of the hospital, walk to the car park, you know, drive home, I come home at 12 midnight. So if yesterday I slept at 9, especially during winter time, I like to sleep like 8 o'clock because it gets dark, it's cold, you know, the days are shorter, so I want to sleep early. Now I'm sleeping at 12. So yesterday I slept at 8 or 9, and today I'm sleeping at 12. So of course tomorrow my body is going to change, and I'm not gonna wake up early, or I may still wake up early because I woke up early yesterday, but then I feel really, really tired. And if I'm on a second afternoon shift, after that I have 2 afternoons, I have to catch up on the sleep. So I have to sleep before I go to work, let's say at 11 o'clock, you know, and sleep until 12, 12:30, you know, get up, prep myself to work and go to work. So your body always disturbed. It doesn't have that routine anymore. And when your sleeping routine is distracted, your eating routine is distracted as well. Your times of meals are broken. So your body is always in this kind of like a stress mode, you know, which is not good, because when you have stress, you have cortisol, you have, you know, storage of fat in your body, because body is in a stress kind of mode, and it just holds up to everything, you know. It's like in the times of war, when there is a lack of food and water, you try to grab as much as you can and just hold it in your house and keep it and save it. This is what your body does, because there is no routine. There is no routine at all. Your body is constantly under stress. So this is one thing that people don't understand. The second thing is that if you're a mother and you have children, and let's say you're happily married, you have a partner, you need to schedule how and who will be taking kids to school, because you as a wife, a shift worker, your husband might have his normal corporate job from Monday to Friday, you know, but maybe on some days, due to traffic or some meetings at work or whatever, he won't be able to pick up children, or maybe he finishes his work at 5, but the children finish school at 2. So you need to think about those days when you work as a nurse, to put your children and pay extra for the school care. because you won't be able to pick them up from school. Because if your husband is at work until 5 plus traffic to get to the area where you guys live, you know, you need to leave the house, let's say at 1:30 to be at work at 2:30 to start your PM shift. There is no way both of you will pick up kids from school. So you have to think about extra pay, you know, to pay for the services, to either pick up your children and take them home, pay to the nanny, or to the school aftercare. So it involves money. Obviously, it's a little bit of stress if your kids are small to be dealing with the strangers, so they will need to get used to the routine as well. And the third thing is public holidays. So you can in advance in a request roster cross out 4 days, including the public holidays, if you don't want to work during the public holidays. But sometimes it's impossible because you may have like December, for example, you have Christmas, you have Christmas Eve, you have Boxing Day, you have New Year. So it's not just the holiday day itself, it's also the following day. So if you are traveling somewhere to meet your husband's parents or your parents if they live in a different area, if you want to travel somewhere to a different state, if you're a drinking person, for example, and you had a party, waking up the next day going to work is the worst thing. So you have to think about not just crossing out the holiday day, but also the next day to give yourself appropriate rest and recovery post party, right? So then you will be able to continue your work afterwards. So it can be a little bit tricky. So on the holidays, a lot of us end up working. We can cross out some of it. But also people like to earn more money because holiday rates, they are equal to Sunday rates. They can be 0.2 or 1.5 like Saturday, or they can be 2.5 like Christmas, for example. So a lot of people like to work on holidays so they could earn more money. So it can be a good and a bad thing. But from the negative aspects, it's just the body regime is changing when you are a shift worker. If you have little kids, it becomes a little bit difficult as well. And just for the couples, I remember when I was in a relationship, my partner, he used to work in construction, and it was really hard for us because I was a shift worker. He would be, you know, sometimes coming home and I would be leaving, or at night he would be in bed going to sleep and I have to get up at 9 and I have to go to work. It was terrible. It was terrible just to leave nice warm bed, you know, especially during winter time, and go to work. Night shifts to me are the most difficult ones because you gotta leave home so late. Like I have to leave home at 10 o'clock at night to start my shift at 11 at work. And to me, getting out from the warm, nice house to the darkness and cold is the worst thing ever. When your body's trying already to sleep, you're tired, but you still have to get up and perform in the next 8 hours while your body designed to sleep during those 8 hours. This is the hardest part, physically and mentally. And then you will have this time during the night shift starting from about 3 a.m. when your body is just giving up. You become like a walking zombie, because this is the breaking point for most of the workers that I know, who would have this nausea and a headache and this unpleasant feeling in a stomach at particularly like starting at 3 a.m. and it can last up to about 5 a.m. in the morning. So we try to drink a lot of warm drinks during that time. Some people push on coffee in, but I try not to drink coffee in because it's dehydrating me a lot. So I try to have like green tea, soups and things like that during that period of time. Sometimes I need to have anti-nausea pill as well because it's just too bad. Like the nausea is creeping in so badly. And during this time, you have to give them medications, you have to take care of the patients, you have to help them if they need to go to toilet, whatever. If there is someone with behaviors, it makes your life hell during that time. So yeah, I thought I will talk about it on my channel because as I said, not many people understand how difficult it is to be a shift worker until they actually get into the system and start to live that lifestyle. Okay, you gotta love it somehow. Like, for example, if to leave aside negative aspects of shift work, I personally see positives in it as well, because the positive thing is working in Queensland Health in clinical settings give you opportunity to learn a lot of clinical skills and gain your knowledge. So, for example, if you're planning to work in the next 5 years as a shift worker in clinical acute area for the purpose of gaining experience and learning clinical skills, that would be a good area for you to obtain those, because you will only do it for a couple of years. You will struggle only for that period of time doing the shift work, but then after you've got your knowledge and your experience, you can go elsewhere where you don't have to do a shift work. The second thing is, I personally not a type of person who likes corporate style of work, Monday to Friday, sitting in front of computer all the time. I actually love being on my feet. I love to be moving, and I am not a morning person during the winter time. I prefer evening shifts, believe it or not. So when I have my evening shifts during winter time, I actually feel more comfortable than waking up at 5 o'clock in the freezing cold and getting my butt out of the house, and going to work. So I love that flexibility that I have mornings and evenings. And the third aspect that I find positive is that I have my random blocks of days off. Like now I am on 6 days off. Every month I have a block of days that would be from 4 to about 6 off. And I love it. I am not depleted in pay or anything like that. So I still have my number of shifts already worked off and finished in this month. But now I have this block of days where I've got them off and I can enjoy it. So I have these little holidays every single month. Also, I like that our pay as clinicians allows us to work 6 to 7 shifts a fortnight and still earn the same or even more as the person in their corporate position in a company Monday to Friday jobs. Why? Because we have penalty rates on PM shifts, we have penalty rates on nights, we have penalty rates on Saturday and Sundays. They are really great, especially on a weekend. So if I only work on a weekend, let's say if I choose to work on a weekend, I can easily live just off that. And that would be a weekly salary of someone who's working Monday to Friday, believe it or not. So I find it beneficial because I can work only 6 to 7 shifts. Yes, it's hard, it's a shift work and my body is damaged. Well, not literally damaged, but it's hard. But it allows me to earn good money and I can have rest randomly throughout the week. Like I will work, let's say Monday, Tuesday, then have 2 days off, then go back again for another 2 shifts, and then I have 2 days off. It's perfect, it's great. And during the week, when you go to shopping centers or to the cafes to have brunches, everything is open. It's not as crowded as during the weekends. If you want to go on to the beach as well, it's not as crowded as for those people who work only Monday to Friday, and the only days that they can afford themselves, and allow themselves to go to the beach would be Saturday and Sunday. You as a nurse can go anytime pretty much when you are off, which gives you opportunity to have emptier places to enjoy more. So I find those benefits great as well. So it's not like not everything is dark and bad, but I thought I will mention it on my channel so you could understand what it's like, especially when it comes to rostering. Some people don't understand that your roster is different every single month. They think that it's like an aged care. Every fortnight is the same. No, it's not. It's not the same, unfortunately. The only things that stay the same is the number of the shifts that you do per your contract and the number of the night shifts. Those ones are unchangeable, but everything else changes. So that also makes it difficult if you go to, let's say, 3 times or 2 times a week to Pilates or dance classes or something like that, that becomes very difficult as well, because if you can cross out 4 days a month, but your days to go to your courses are more than 4, you have to swap the shifts with your colleagues, and you have to do it every single month, which becomes very, very difficult. Yeah, so like leisure wise, if you're doing any kind of hobbies in terms of sports and stuff like that, it becomes quite difficult, so you have to juggle around and find your way. But yeah, I hope this video was helpful to you guys. I thought I will highlight those things. If you're a shift worker, please share your thoughts in the comments below. If I forgot to mention anything, share your experience as well. Maybe some people love it from the beginning till the end. Maybe some people struggle. I'm not sure. I would like to hear your thoughts as well. And if you have any questions, let me know as well. I will see you in my next videos. Bye.